Deck.
On deck.
I don't know why you call me that.
You're the navigator, and we respect you because we take notes. The explorer. You've taught us so many things.
Thank you so much for having
you, Deck.
me.
It's always a pleasure.
Our lives meaningful.
And of course, at the bar we have a man that I truly respect, the wise one.
What's going on?
He's not really acting wise right now, but yeah.
Just in touch with my other side.
The mayor of Agungi.
No. I blame Zainab for that title.
Yeah, Zainab, stop it. Sorry, stuck already. Anyways, we've got quite a show lined up for today. And before we came live, the guys were talking about the, real and hard situation right now, adapting to the new economic realities. And of course, there was a strike earlier in the week. And I think we'll be diving a bit into it so that we can kind of educate people and tell them much more about what it's all about. And so it's not just about, okay, there's going to be a strike and people don't understand it. I think we all have different takes and understanding of what this implies and what this means at the long run. But we'll still touch base on the fun things too. So we take a quick break. When we return, we dive into our first quickfire, which is a strange one, Kotsi Gang. Yeah, you guys are going to laugh it out. All right, see you right.
Courtesy moi.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. Bro code.
All right. Welcome back. So the first quickfire, it's something that Gang raised earlier on this evening. We're having a conversation, and then he decided to ask a question based on a particular situation. So I work with two female producers, Zainab and Okwe, and according to Gang, he was wondering why and where and what law states that a man can be with multiple women and vice versa. Because he feels it's unfair. There's just one life. That life is this long, and
what happened actually was, sometimes, we thank God that we're married men, settled, and we're faithful. But then sometimes you meet other people and you meet their personality and they're so great, and I'll be like, this person would make a great wife for a friend of mine or a family member. You meet people with great traits and great qualities. And then you now realize that these people are single for far too long. And you're wondering, what's going on? How come other people haven't seen what you've seen? And then if you just look at the global, let's look at the population. It just doesn't balance that one man, one woman.
Are you speaking from experience?
No,
this is like not personal experience.
Not from facts.
It's okay, bro.
There are not enough people on the planet to have one man, one woman.
No, I completely agree, though.
Oh, okay.
I completely agree.
So what if we flip it the other way around? So if men can have multiple women, can women have multiple men?
It's kind of odd that some women are going to go through this life without ever experiencing what it is to have their own man.
No, but not every woman wants to get married, though.
Yeah, not every man wants to get married as well.
Okay, so what are you proposing? Should we?
I'm not proposing anything. It's just sad. I'm taken, but if I wasn't, you get me?
Are you advertising?
I'm not advertising.
So I had to talk about this because I wasn't really clear on what direction Gang was going with this.
Gang, the truth is,
But who stood up one day and said, one man, one woman? Who?
So if you trace it back, back then, only the kings and warriors that have conquered were allowed to have women.
Because
back then, women were pleasure. Like you can have a lot of pleasures. But the commoners, the peasants, one man, one wife, concern you. But
because it was like they couldn't afford to.
Like where the money they? I mean, Solomon in the Bible, how many women did he have?
Good, nice reference.
So that was but seriously, that was the norm. The kings could do and undo because they were like almost not mortal. They were immortal, in fact, let's be honest. But as society evolved, you know, realize that one guy, you carry 600 babe, me go come carry one. Let's scatter it, make everybody just one. And I think that in all honesty, it's only in humans that monogamy is almost a way of life. It's only in humans. And even in humans, every day men they fall. Every day women they fall. In my own opinion, I honestly don't think monogamy works long term. And that's the honest truth.
Okay.
So, I was going to say, I was actually
that.
going to say that the truth is, according to history, right, I've realized that in the past, men who had several wives had great lives.
Had what?
Great lives. And I'll tell you why. And I'm not saying this because I'm encouraging anybody to take a second wife or third wife or what have you.
Now you didn't go drag.
But one thing you must understand is the fact that I don't think that monogamy is actually man's nature.
It's not. No.
Okay. When you say man's nature, are you speaking for both men and women?
No.
I'm speaking for just the male gender.
For
You can only speak as
the
a
male
man,
gender.
it's
And I'll
only-
tell
it's
you
only
why.
a
I say even
I'll
for
tell you
women,
why.
sir, you can
I'll
speak
tell you
on
why.
this topic.
You see,
I can't. No, you
Christians would argue that the Bible says that a man shall leave his father and his mother and he shall cleave unto his wife and they shall become one. Right? That's what they would say. Right? But the Muslims are allowed to take
Multiple
partners.
As long as
you love them equally.
They always leave that part.
Yeah.
As long as you can love and take care of them equally.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So what
I
I tell
know
you,
of,
you
let
have
me
to
tell
be
you something.
man
I know of a
means.
man. I know of a man that had he had a wife, and then he became very wealthy. Picked another wife. Afterwards, he built a house. He built a twin building. If there's a cup in
So
this
a
house,
carbon copy
there is a
here.
carbon copy of that cup in that house. Like a replica of everything on both sides.
Well, those women go see the fight, yeah.
So, but guess what?
yeah,
They
we
don't
know.
even have the opportunity to interface. Because everything is the same. He buys the same cars, the same year, the same brand new, everything.
Okay.
You understand? So what I'm saying in essence is that for whatever it is worth, right, the ideology of monogamy is actually flawed. And that's one of the major reasons why a lot of marriages are headed for the rocks.
Okay, but there's something I identified from
truth.
what you said. It takes a lot of resources, money, for you to, be in that direction.
So you don't
for
have
men.
money. What exactly are you doing with polygamy?
Exactly. So that's the clause
Now,
there.
th-
You don't have
this-
money.
This story
You're
you,
looking
you
for-
shared
you're-
that just reminded me of someone
Are you trying to suffer?
in Abuja some years ago who had two wives. One of the wives, her car was stolen. So what he had to do now was, she didn't have a car, but the other wife had a car. So he bought that wife another car. They now recovered her stolen car. So she now had two cars. So he now had to buy a second car
but
for the wife
also,
that had one car.
Right.
So
Polygamy is not a poor man's game now.
it's not.
It's not.
If you have enough money-
But check this out. I'm telling you guys for a fact, there are people that don't have this kind of money that we're talking about that have more than one wife.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
they know
most
how.
definitely.
But
I want to
balance.
flip. I want
They know how
flip
to
the
manage
conversation
it.
around.
You understand? I was about to
So-
say something, Olamide. I'm so sorry. You see, it's not just people who are married. Do you understand? As a man, if you're married and you're the type of man who sees other women, you're spending money for babes,
Regardless, yeah.
regardless of whether you are married to
married or
them.
not, just
As long as
spending
you're engaging the opposite sex,
Yeah.
there's some sort of financial exchange going on. So you can't say that you are on meager salary or you are waiting for one organ to pay you, and then you think that you can carry
That's
money.
why.
But
That's why
guys,
I thank God
let's-
for my
before-
life
before we
and being
go
faithful
further-
in Lagos, because it really cuts down my
As a lawyer,
expenses.
I mean, aspiring lawyer, that sentence is very implicating.
It cuts down my expenses.
Instead of being faithful in Lagos, that clause, bro,
in Lagos.
in
It's-
Lagos. So are you
it's
saying
where
you're
I
not held
reside.
liable for anything that happens
So
outside
wait,
Lagos?
so wait, anything that happens
outside
Oh my
Lagos.
gosh, they
anything
got
that
you
happens
now.
in OPIC, we should be careful.
You see, I've been in Lagos for the past 8 years. You understand what I'm saying?
And you never leave.
I never leave.
Okay.
I've been in Lagos for 8 years.
So what
I've been
happens
married. I've
if
been married
you go
for
to
13.
OPIC right now? We can't be sure of what will happen.
Okay, guys.
The Lord is
let's
my
take the
strength.
spotlight.
The Lord is
off
my
Guy.
strength.
But back to what we're saying. So you talked about trying to balance things out by
Yeah.
providing the exact same things. I'm thinking biologically, is it even really possible? Let's take out. Let's even biologically speaking, are people designed to be with one individual partner? Are they meant, created not to desire other people or multiple partners?
The answer is no.
I'm talking about both genders now.
I think the answer is no, though.
The answer is 100% no.
You sure?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
Somebody came up with the logical reasoning to create a balance to avoid chaos, and say it should be this way.
One guy,
okay.
And it worked.
Into it, yeah.
Okay.
And it worked. And society was balanced and peaceful.
It didn't work now.
It worked because that's what we are today. Just imagine if it never existed. Just imagine now that one woman, one man never existed.
No, so
since we're going that way, can we speak for the women? What do you think the world will look like today?
I know the woman.
Let me speak for them because I'm in touch with my feminine side.
Obviously.
From a man's perspective, let's look at what the world will look like today if we had a situation whereby women culturally were allowed to take multiple partners. What do you think the world will look like today?
So, first of all, look, let's be realistic. I think I can only speak from a man's standpoint, and I think that if we're very honest with ourselves, from what I know of women and what I know of men, we all want different things. Men want different things in women. Women want different things in men. Women want men that are better than them, even though they might not want to admit it. But a woman earning maybe 5K will not want a guy earning 5K. She looks up. A guy earning 5K does not care what the woman is earning. Like, she can be anywhere on that ladder, is fine with it.
Yeah.
So if you now put that into that equation, it changes a lot of things.
Exactly.
Because as it is right now, in the world we live in today, the guys with money have almost limitless options. Let's be realistic. The very rich guy that is single his options are like this.
Single?
The entire world.
Single?
Even married, say, his options are like this. Now, a woman with money, you would think that it should be that our options are like this, but in reality, it's not.
It's not.
It's actually like this.
Absolutely.
Because most women, say for example, a woman and say she has 50K, she's not checking a guy that has 45K. Let's be realistic. She's looking up. And the higher you look, the narrower it gets.
Yeah. And that's why most women want the same thing.
Which is?
What other people want. What other people have. No, but that's the honest truth. Listen, if you ask women to describe what or who they want, they'll describe somebody that's already taken. They're not going to describe somebody that's available.
Absolutely.
But you know that if you have enough money, or your value is so high as a man, women won't mind sharing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that's the problem.
Absolutely. So, I was going to say that, you see, one thing you must also understand about women is
I'm not in trouble for this one. I didn't say it.
Hold on.
Said it. He said
so
it.
one thing you must
will be willing to
understand
share.
about women is a woman will see her friend's husband and see the way her friend's husband treats her friend and will not mind if that friend says, you know what, let's be with this man together.
Okay, I'm drawing the curtain on this
and
one.
Yes, it's the truth.
I'm drawing the curtain
That's
on this
the
one.
same reason why a lady can sleep beside another woman and a man cannot sleep beside another man. Do you understand what I'm saying?
God bless you.
Okay, you know what?
what
With that being said, we need to move on to our next big fire, which is talking about the economic realities of the country right now, and talking about what it might be if the minimum wage the labor union is asking for actually comes true. What are the implications? I know we all have different understandings of how this might play out, but Rich Uncle was talking about something earlier, and I would love if you could share that with everyone.
First of all, I do not think the labor union in Nigeria is serious. I don't take them serious because, I want to believe that they're educated people in that labor union, right? You guys sat down, you had a meeting, and you said, okay, we want to move the minimum wage from 30K. And the first figure you came out with was 400 and something thousand. Are you...
Well, how did they arrive at that mathematically?
Didn't you guys do the plus and minus? And then you're carrying the hopes of people. Let's not forget. The hope of the common man is with you. And you've made them believe that, don't worry, we'll take you from 30K to 400. You know it's unrealistic. And then you now go to negotiation table with government. The first thing they're going to look at is, are you stupid? Even if tomorrow the government says, okay, you know what? take your 400 and something K. It's chaos. Like,
what's going to happen to the economy?
And how, for me, so how I say, like, okay, you are supposed to be a responsible organization. And all of you, all the thousands of you had out there say, we'll go from 30K to 40. Like, come on now. Even my 7-year-old boy cannot come up with that figure. And it makes me not take them serious because I'm like, these guys are jokers. If you want to negotiate, you negotiate on realistic terms. Like, okay, this is what I'm willing to take, this is what I'm willing to give. And 400K, like, regardless of whatever figure the government throws at them, they have no option but to take it because you've raised the bar to the point where there's no buy again. 30K to 400, like, seriously?
Okay, so quick one. Yeah, on Monday they shut down almost every, functional.
They shut down the country.
They shut down the country, and for me, I think to a large extent, it kind of was a punishment.
No, just say it. He went too far.
For the people that you were fighting
supposedly fighting for.
And yeah, so do you think there's a better way around it? And if there is, what are the steps you think can be taken?
First and foremost, before I answer that question, I'd like to ask a question, if you don't mind.
Who will answer it?
No, I just it's a question I feel like we should all answer.
Yeah.
Right. The question is, who is Labour fighting?
Fighting or fighting for?
Not fighting for. Who are they fighting? Like, who are they trying to stifle to get answers?
It's supposedly supposed to be the government.
The government.
It's supposedly
and
supposed to be
I
the
love
government.
that answer. Very straight
Supposedly.
and simple.
No,
Supposedly.
Yeah. Supposedly.
But
Okay, so what is it
fighting the
supposed to be?
people.
No, but in reality,
Yes.
Labour is actually not just fighting the government. Labour is fighting the government and organized private sector. What a lot of people don't understand is that organized private sector is all encompassing. If you have a kiosk where you're selling bread, you are in that organized private sector, whether you like it or not. So what that means is that if the government says, okay, you know what, minimum wage is 400K, if you have your security man, you'll be paying him 400K. The guy that mops the floor here must earn 400K.
Yeah.
Like, people...
Okay, so so the reason I asked that question, I'll tell you why, is because you must understand something. You see, one of the things I talk about when I talk about Nigeria is, and I talk about Nigeria on a very low voice. And I'll tell you why. Because the complexities are too much.
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
Right? Now, you must understand that in fighting for the people against the government, you must apply wisdom. And apply balance
across board, right?
Across board.
Okay.
You are fighting the government and you are killing the people who you are fighting for.
But people
How do you ask essential workers to go on strike?
That part drives me mad. It drives me mad.
How do you block the airport? You are trying to drive for economic growth, and you stifled
the same growth.
the entire system. You see, there are better ways to fight the government, and I'm not asking anybody to fight the government. More like, come to a round table and have, reasonable conversations. Like you said, it is unheard of, and it is really, really bewildering for you to come up with that kind of figure.
That's almost like
over,
a 1,000%.
You don't understand. It's like, bro.
It's way more than 1,000.
I can't understand 30,000 naira, and then you're no. I mean, look, I understand that. See, no, hold on. I understand that they are looking at it from the perspective of
the economy.
The economy. And how people, the purchasing power of people.
As inflation goes up by 1,000%.
Hold on. No. That's what they are looking at it from. However, you must consider the importance of the fact that in also taking those steps, you must understand that it's one thing for you to be able to pay 200,000 naira once. It's another thing for you to get that 200,000 and then not get it for 7 years.
Okay, so
do you understand what I'm saying?
I need to get gang on board with this. So let's say,
where were you guys?
Yeah, let's say this happens, right?
Boring to you,
no, here's the thing.
Let's say it happens. Wait, gang, hold on. I just want to ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. Okay, so let's say this happens, right? And the minimum wage is turned to 400,000 naira or thereabout. What do you think the cost of bread will be?
Maybe 25K minimum.
Facts.
Maybe 25. No, but
to be honest,
fact now. It'll be like 20K, 25K.
I wouldn't be in the country at the time to suffer what you guys will be suffering to buy bread. Now, here's the funny thing. See, Labour need to have the power to shut down economic activity so that the government is not all powerful and almighty.
The checks and balance, basically.
Do you understand? So they need to have that power to shut down the economy for a day to let the government know that they have that impact and they have the power. Femi was so right on the fact that it's so unrealistic. People don't understand this, that when you say minimum wage, that's on the government level, that's level 1, step 1.
You are looking at bottom line.
The bottom line, the very bottom of the food chain, that is going to be paid 400,000. Do you know what a director in the ministry is going to get?
Exactly.
If you follow all the levels, the steps, and the grades.
Maybe directors will be making like.
Do you know how much they'll be making?
60 million per
and
month.
we know that this just puts the naira further down the toilet, further down the drain.
Yes.
And then at the same time, it's just not logical.
It's not.
Because it's for me, when I listen to these things, I'm like, come with something that, like, the 60,000, 62,000 that we're hearing now is reasonable. You have negotiating power. It's reasonable.
Which is double the current.
But then here's the funny thing. We're looking at a situation where we're trying to cut cost of governance. I'm telling you, half of the states in the country cannot afford to pay minimum wage.
Half.
At least half.
Half. 75%.
You get what I'm coming from?
So let me make.
What are you fighting for? When you already know, in terms of internal generated revenue by each state, they can't afford to pay this.
Bro, minimum wage in Nigeria today is supposed to be 30K. There are still states that pay 18,000.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
So they can't afford it. So now you're now increasing it. And here's the funny thing. If we go to states now, I'll tell you some states are being owed
months.
12 months.
Because
that's my point.
Cannot afford
That's my point.
At this level.
Jonathan, that's my point.
I think
What's the point?
this entire thing hasn't been addressed from the right point of view. Right now, Nigeria is going through a dip. And the best way to actually solve it is by creating wealth within the system. Now, those are the kind of
apart from creating
conversations
wealth
that
within
should
the
be
system,
having.
why is it that I never hear people fighting for certain costs to be cut?
Costs like what?
You get me? For example, if you look at the National Assembly, the federal government, the cost of governance, it keeps on going up from buying cars, standards of living.
In all honesty, that argument dies it dies the moment you mention it, because let's be pragmatic, let's be logical. How many senators do you have?
Yeah, you asked that question earlier on.
How many senators do you have?
What, about 300?
So wait,
how many civil servants do you have?
Oh, they're in the millions now.
So wait, hold on.
So
let me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Regardless
are you saying that
the real
regardless
problem,
of,
bro, the real problem we have,
how small
the real problem
the numbers of the National Assembly is?
The real problem we have is inflation.
No, hold on.
It's inflation.
So you're not understanding. Hold on, Femi. Let me make
it.
it.
The problem. That's what we need to tackle.
Look, let me tell you something. In this country,
if you pay somebody 10K,
if you want to change this country,
bro, in that 10K, he can pay his house rent, he can feed himself, he can clothe himself. It's better than paying him 100K that cannot do all these things.
But let me help Femi. But Femi, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. If you look at the cost of running the National Assembly, right? It keeps increasing and increasing. But the minimum wage isn't. So as long as the 300 you're talking about that's a tiny number.
But you guys understand
if their expenses keep on going up, how come me I'm still here?
No, but you understand what democracy is?
What's democracy?
Executive, judiciary, like the government cannot tell senators what to pay themselves. That's what democracy is.
So hold on.
It's called.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Let's be realistic. Let's stop lying.
You do know that. You do know that a country that seeks to, amplify or make remunerations look good for government officials will never thrive.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. You must understand that those guys are there to serve.
What is the government officials? You need to be specific.
Yes, what I'm saying is that...
If you want to be realistic, government officials in Nigeria are not there to serve. Let's call it spade.
So what are you talking about?
Okay.
I'm saying, let me tell you something.
I heard in New York, do you know what what's the title of the person that runs the state of New York?
Mayor.
The mayor of New York.
Yeah, just like you.
Do you know he makes $1?
But you know
I heard some mayors.
Do you know the kind of
hold on. I heard mayors do 9 to 5.
Bro, so you can. So
Did you know that?
So you know,
So
we can talk about all of this and compare what we have in this country to other parts of the world, but we still have a long way to go because we're not solving things systematically. We need to treat things as it is. Right now, there's an inflation, and it's a lot, and that's where we should start from. Instead of talking about increasing minimum wage and all of that, deal with price stability, deal with certain other things, wealth creation.
If we're going to be honest with ourselves, everything we're experiencing in Nigeria today, we should have experienced this thing 30, 40 years ago.
Okay.
This is the very first time ever. If we want to tell ourselves the truth, forget party affiliation. This is the very first time ever they're like, okay, you know what? Let's reset this
country.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's reset this thing and let it be balanced. How do you guys feel knowing that less than 10% of Nigerians have 500K in their account? How does that make you feel? 500K is not up to $1,000.
Do you know what?
Do you know what
that makes you feel totally messed up. Now, it makes you feel messed up because of what can 500K do? If 500K could do something substantial, you wouldn't feel that bad.
Exactly.
But the naira is so depreciated and so devalued that it means nothing. That's why everybody's investing in foreign currency.
Okay,
Bro, let me tell you something. Let me tell you
how much money
Let me
you
tell
throw
you
into
something.
that system.
Guys,
it's just going to make
hold
it
on.
worse.
Sorry. Okay, let me make you understand something. You see, we have had, a number of subsidies and all of that. But there are certain subsidies that we have failed to give. One of which is the most important, food. The government needs to subsidize food.
That
You know
thing-
why?
that
See,
thing
let me
that
tell
you
you
have
something.
said.
If the government subsidizes food,
It changes the game.
see,
It changes the game.
nobody will feel
It changes
anything
the
in the
game.
economy
It
again.
changes the
If
game.
you like, put dollar at
It
2005. Nobody will notice.
because
And I'll
it's
tell
not-
you why. How many regular, human being in Nigeria travels out of this country?
No, less than 20% though.
Do you understand
It's
what I'm
up to
saying?
20%.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think less than 5.
See,
Yeah.
we need to start taking the right decisions. If you say that, okay, let's subsidize fuel, let's not subsidize, we're not subsidizing, we're doing, those, we're not, see, those ones are for the elites, the upper elite.
And I told
We are
somebody
talking
this,
about
fuel
the
subsidies
lower
for the
class.
rich.
How do you want to, let me ask you a question. When our president came to Lagos, what was the chant? Ebin power. If the government
translate
subsidizes,
that.
listen,
Well,
if
for those who don't understand,
Baby power, we're hungry,
We're hungry.
right? If the government subsidizes food, I am telling you that the regular man on the streets will be hailing the president and saying,
No, but it's a
they
game
have done
changer.
well.
No, it's actually a game
If
changer.
rice comes down to 10,000 naira
It's a
today,
game changer.
I am telling
It's a
you,
game changer.
bro, there are people who will vote
You
for
see why
the
you are the
president
diplomat.
for the third.
you see why you're the diplomat.
Sorry.
Because the
I'm
truth of the
telling
matter-
you.
no, but to butter what he said,
Yeah.
every country in the world has one form of subsidy or the other.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Even the US is still
Absolutely.
every country in
subsidizing
the
petrol.
world
Absolutely.
subsidizes one way or the other. And in our own situation, I said it before, fuel subsidies for the rich. Because you have to be rich to afford a car in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
So, first of all, you're just subsidizing the lifestyle of people that don't really need it.
Yes.
What the subsidy you need should be on food. Let people earn 20K and food. Feeding should not be their problem.
But do you know the problem?
Okay, guys.
Do you know the main
we
issue?
need to move to our next quick
The
fire
main
quickly.
issue now is that with all of these things we're talking about, people still have time to cheat and have more than one woman.
Okay,
in their
yes,
life.
which is
They
why
have to
we're
have
going.
distractions.
Which is why we're going to
People
our
still
next
have
quick fire.
Now,
The
bro, you gotta
time-
have
That's
distractions.
why we're going to our next quick
the
fire.
energy and the
This one,
resources.
I'm just going to take a quick feedback from everyone quickly. Then we go on the break, and then we take our main topic. Now, this is from a tweet from Olori Agbeke Adi, and she goes like this: if all married men become faithful, 75% of business women will close,
Straight.
and 60%
Straight.
of female students will drop out.
Sharply.
She calls
She's not
it
lying.
bitter truth.
Sharply.
Okay, let's talk about this quickly.
Sharply.
Koparo now. She's
So
not lying
if
now.
all married men were
I don't
faithful,
understand.
True.
No, but she's not
True.
lying.
Bro, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people that Rich Uncle is sponsoring?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Rich uncle.
I have no clue.
Rich uncle, I'm looking for someone to adopt me.
But technically, yes. So that one I have to
Directly
yes.
or indirectly?
No, directly. I pay a lot of people's school fees, and I'm talking about kids that.
And of course, you have people
50
employed
kids,
under your
60
service.
kids.
Do you
so-
understand?
But
Yeah.
people that are employed under me, they work now, so I don't count.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
philanthropy. But when I hear that somebody's school fees is 30K and they cannot pay, But we they come out, they spend 30K.
Yeah.
Oh, you understand what I'm saying?
Go spend 30K. We don't know say we spend that.
I went to a resort.
You can change a child's life.
Bro, I went to a
Yeah,
resort
definitely.
one day, and I saw this lady who was serving us. And she was looking very gloomy, right? Now, regularly, you feel like if a guy calls a lady like that...
Wait, that was last week.
No, that was last 3 weeks.
That was last week.
You don't
Not
went to
that
a
one, that
resort.
one. There was
He
another
went to the resort. He
There was
didn't take
another
us to the
resort.
resort.
Hold on.
Another resort.
Another
This
resort.
guy is balling.
Bro, now you tell me, say, now you tell me, say,
He's not a minimum
say,
wage.
I don't leave my money for
He's
this
not.
of kin.
He's not.
You understand? Oh, my general
Okay, sorry for cutting you. Let's
You
get
understand what
what
I'm
you
saying?
want to say.
Now you think that this, you want to hit on this girl or something like that. And I told her, the first thing I said to her, I said, hi, what's your name? And she told me her name. And I said, please, first and foremost, I am not trying to hit on you in any way.
Wait, what's wrong?
But what's wrong with you?
You look gloomy.
And guess what? She said that her mom is not feeling well. That, her house rent is about to run out. Bro, the breakfast I was having that morning
Covers the
was 12,000 naira for breakfast. Ask me how much her house rent was.
How much?
32,400.
Hey.
And her mom's drug money was 10,000 naira. Right there on the spot, I sent her the money.
Because that...
And I told her,
Lesson
don't call
learned.
me. Don't ever call me. Don't reach out to me.
God bless
Do
you.
you
Lesson
understand?
learned.
I don't need to know you. I don't need to
Lesson
be,
learned.
someone.
You know what? If every comfortable Nigerian
There are a lot of
can
people
do
like
that,
that. No, there are a lot of people like
I'm
that.
just saying that
Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
comfortable Nigerians out there, and you can look at someone's problem and solve it. It doesn't have to be massive.
It
You
doesn't.
don't, it
just
doesn't.
something
Just need
little.
to. Yes.
You're saving
Just
someone's
plug
life. You're
somebody's
making
gap.
something
Yeah.
better. With that being said, thank you. I'm going to send you some of my worries later. Thank you very much. All right, we need to take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll talk about the main topic for tonight, which is men, daughters, and boundaries. There was a video that was on social media recently about a man who apparently put a camera in his daughter's room, a 16-year-old daughter, and there's been a lot of uproar and all of that. We'll talk about it more right after the break.
You see what he doesn't want.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. Bro code.
Time has come to experience the power of faith, music, and praise. This is the Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m., tune in to catch the pulse-pounding beats and soul-stirring melodies that will elevate your faith and leave a lasting impact on your heart. The Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. exclusively on Max FM, where we count down the best 20 urban gospel hits from around the world. Get your praise on.
Now, cheers to you all out there. Before we get into our main topic for tonight, I want to give a big shout out to No Limit Stitches
No Limit
for
Stitches.
this trip. Thank you for keeping me fly. With that being said, we move straight into, what we're talking about tonight. Now, tonight's topic is something that most men can relate with because of all the, way things have changed, all the ways things have changed around the world, and it's very simple. Men, daughters, and boundaries. And the reason why we're talking about this is very simple. There's a video out on social media, story actually. It was a tweet on social media whereby a man was talking about how he put a camera in his daughter's room, and his wife discovered it, and she was really upset. And he was wondering why she was upset. Now, the lady in question, his daughter is 16 years old. Now, do you guys think the man has, done the wrong thing by putting the camera in the 16-year-old's room without the knowledge of his wife?
I'm so sorry. I don't have a daughter, so I don't really know how this works.
Okay, you're going to have a daughter.
But even
you're
you
going
have
to have a daughter, definitely.
Yes.
your child, would you put a camera in your child's room?
Well,
Yes, I have a camera in my children's room, though.
you have a camera in your.
I can see what they're doing right now here.
Well,
Like
okay,
this.
so
Because of the age
so
they are
that's
right
monitoring.
now.
But guys, let me clarify this. The issue here isn't the camera. The issue here is that without the wife's knowledge.
I don't understand how that is a conversation. But when you look at everything holistically, yeah, girl is 16. I wouldn't have a camera in my daughter's room if she's 16.
Okay.
First of all, because at that point, that's an adult. Let's be honest.
Thank you.
She's 2 years from being okay.
That's
I can live
a
on my
starting
own.
adult.
Yeah.
And
so
in most parts of the world, the 16-year-old is actually an adult.
No.
No, I don't.
Not most
So I
parts.
don't. I don't
No,
know.
that in
16 years
most,
old is not
in
an adult.
Europe, in most
For me-
countries in Europe, a
No, bro,
16-year-old is an adult.
So I don't even care whether 16-year-old is an adult or not. But I won't have a camera in my daughter's room when she's 16, even when she's 14. I don't. What do you want to see? But I have a camera in my
What
kid's
I do
room
know
now
is this,
because there's a nanny in the house, and I know that. Okay, look, I don't want to hear stories that.
And your kids are pretty young.
Young.
Yeah.
However, it does sound a little bit sinister that you put a camera in your daughter's room, your wife doesn't know about it.
Exactly.
What's the point of that?
What's going on
Okay.
there?
Why would you do something
What's
like
going on
that?
there?
So, the thing is this, right? For me, camera or no camera, what I see about camera is being able to monitor the activities of your children, right? And the truth is this. There are different ways to it. Before we had CCTVs and all of that, we had policies in the house or rules and regulations in the house.
right.
No locking of doors. Open your doors. I don't want to come to your room and
Well, I
I'm
have to be
knocking.
knocking,
No,
yes.
open the door down.
Okay, so is that still a thing?
Do you understand? So that's the thing. For me, in my own house, open the door down. Even if I don't like doors open.
I don't like
I
doors.
don't like
I
doors.
don't like
I,
doors.
I can't stand
my
seeing
kid,
doors open.
my child, your door must be opened. I want to just walk in at any time and see what's going on.
What's going on there?
All right? They're YouTube right now. His YouTube, I just added it to my. So apparently YouTube now has this feature where you can add your children's YouTube to your YouTube. So I can
So you can
monitor
monitor what
exactly
he's
what he's watching.
And that's
Because
why-
there's a
that's how it
movie
should be.
on
That's how it should
the N platform right now, right? That actually starts as animation. And going into the movie, they're actually, promoting what's it called? LGBT.
The alphabet.
Yes.
Oh, the alphabet gangs.
Absolutely. Like literally, no jokes. Like into
like
the
a
movie.
sub-shop.
So if you did not sit down to actually watch the movie,
Yeah.
you would never know.
That's the agenda they're pushing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
So
get
it's
you.
important for you to monitor your children and monitor them responsibly, not
16-year-old.
Do you understand what I'm
My
saying?
two
I don't
cents-
see a reason why a father will put a camera in his daughter's room
Now, yeah,
and not tell the mother.
exactly.
Matter of fact, if you have to, then you
should
should
be a
give
conversation that you guys have had,
the
though.
mother the access,
to
Yeah.
not you.
Okay, gang.
Exactly.
We
You
need
have,
to hear
thank
your
you.
submission on that.
I have two daughters. Let me give them a shout out real quick. Hey, girls. 11 and 13. And they're developing already as women, which is scary.
Bro,
I would never put a
about it.
camera in their room. Never. There are things you shouldn't see or have to oversee. But if you want to be security conscious in your home, you can put cameras in the passage, corridors, to see who's either going in or coming out.
Yes.
But what happens inside the room is none of your business.
Absolutely.
And what you said is so classic, because why not involve the wife, the woman, the mother that can oversee these things
Yes.
and understand what's going on?
Yes.
As a man, as a father, you have no need viewing that aspect of your daughter's life.
Absolutely.
You get me? Let the mother take care of that. So it's suspicious for him to do that and not notify the mom.
Okay, so
those
let's
are
come back-
boundaries
let's
that
come
he
back to
shouldn't
the
even think
table.
about crossing.
Let's come back to the table and let's say it's not even, she's not 16-year-old or whatever. Let's say she's even younger. Of course.
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter how young you are.
When is it okay for, a father to hold back on privacy? Like, when is it okay? Like, she's a grown-up, she's an adult. It's not a camera this time around, but she's your daughter. When is it okay for you to say, you know what? It's her life. I'm going to back away. I'm going to let her do her thing.
I don't think there's any time
There's never
a time where you say it's your life.
I use privacy.
In terms of cameras and watching what she's doing,
monitoring, maybe not watching.
Monitoring makes it. See, listen. You can monitor an adult. You can monitor an adult that has certain addictions or you don't want to go through a certain way. You can monitor them. But to involve cameras and watching your children, like Femi said something, his children are of a certain age that, of course, it makes sense to have certain cameras to see your toddlers and kids. But once puberty is starting to hit, these people, it's none of your business anymore.
Absolutely. Okay, so I have a few questions I want to ask you guys.
The thing is, we need to understand that parenting is a very, very complex thing. It's like writing an exam that you never know if you pass or fail until years later.
Exactly.
Now, there comes a point in your life where you need to let your children be. Like you, and even if you don't want to let them be, they will let you know that it's okay at this point. My daughter, for example, back then, when I travel, I buy clothes for her. She has no choice but to wear them. Then I started noticing that it's the clothes that I buy for myself that she likes to wear. And I make clothes, so what do I buy? T-shirt and things like this. And when she's going out, you go carry me. I'm like, auntie, what's going on? And then one day it just hit me that this person...
She's created her own style.
You're becoming a person of her own.
And you need to understand that she's not a baby anymore that you just say, take.
And this is what you're going to wear. Yeah.
As a parent, you hope and pray that they turn out right. You hope and pray. There's nothing you can do about it if they decide to not turn out right. So all you can just do is do your best in their formative years and hope.
Leave the rest to God.
So basically it's understanding the transformation taking place from childhood to adolescence.
Our parents actually, to a very large extent, they cramped that part of our life. They didn't know when to say, okay, you know what, you can make this. I mean, I was in secondary school and my mother was still telling me things that I can't tell my daughter now. You can't. And I'm like, oh. The world has changed. And then you need to understand that if you don't let them be, you're going to create human beings. You're going to be parenting human beings that can't even live in the real world.
Yeah.
Because they always need daddy and mommy's guidance every time. They can't make decisions on their own.
So earlier, Dek talked about some house rules. And you said that for your son, you would rather have his door open. But let's say in this particular conversation, we're talking about having a daughter. Would you have a door open still? Or when it's locked, when is it okay for you to go in? Do you knock? Do you know?
So you see, there are house rules.
Yeah.
All right? The house rules applies to everyone. However, for a young man, it's different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like I said, it is something that can be managed. For a lady or for a girl, you can tell her to open her doors. Of course, that would not apply maybe when she wants to have a alone time, her bath, and stuff like that. Nothing changes.
But don't you think at that point, you're really trying to be in the face?
That depends on the relationship you have with your daughter.
Not like Kunle Afolayan and his daughter.
Ouch.
Sorry?
Like they have a very nice...
I don't want to... See, I have my reservations. I missed the show that time. I'm just saying they have
a very lovely relationship.
Anyway, my point is this, right? My point is simple, all right? I don't know the relationship between Mr. Kunle and his daughter.
No, from the video, they looked like they were really close.
It probably means that he trusts his daughter and she trusts him as well. However, my point is simple. If I had a daughter, I would most likely trust her because we'll be very close. And in being close, you also need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be at the best behaviors, right? It is important to understand that there are house rules. However, when it is time for her to close that door, I need to believe in my heart that she's doing the right thing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Well said. So now this is going to go to you guys.
Oh, I'm ready.
Kids. So what do you think is too private for a father to know about his daughter or daughters?
Now,
because in actual sense, while we were growing up, there were certain things that no matter how close we were to our folks, there were private moments. There were private things
there were private moments.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Now the word privacy. There's some things as a man I've asked myself questions like, am I entitled to know about? I want to really get to know my kids. I was hoping that when that menstrual cycle comes, I would have some form of involvement
bro,
of which I frown upon.
You don't
but I couldn't dodge it.
Exactly.
It was my wife's responsibility at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You get me? I just hope that they can come to meet me when they start developing feelings for the other opposite gender and stuff like that. Maybe if they have any questions on men and why men are a certain type of way, any male-related questions, they could come and meet me.
So at this point, you're talking about identifying the role of a father in that situation.
Because like I said earlier on, once puberty hits, you need to know that it's none of your business. You need to cut back. For example, I'm a man. I don't understand anything menstrual. Do you understand? I don't understand what they're feeling, how they're going through it. If I give you gist of how my daughter uncovered hers and the rest, it's a whole series. But you get me? So sometimes you just have to, as a man, be able to step back and understand that at some point, maybe your wife needs to step in.
So because you talked about emotional boundaries there, about like young children developing certain type of feelings.
Yeah.
And, so young people, do you need to guide them? Do you need to talk to them? As a father now, because we're speaking from, the male point of view. As a father, do you need to step in when you see certain things or when they confide in you on certain areas, especially emotional boundaries, and emotional boundaries doesn't really have to do with, mushy feelings. It could be things as, their hopes, aspirations.
In fact, my
what's
youngest,
going on in their personal
my youngest
space.
daughter started exhibiting some, can I say mood swings? Do you understand? Which, like I always tell my wife, these are human beings that have the same traits we all have. Do you understand? They can be sad, happy, depressed. Do you understand? They experience all the emotions that we have as adults. So we need to be able to recognize these things
Those emotional boundaries.
to recognize these things and how to control them to make sure they don't make a big deal out of it. My youngest daughter, with the mood swings that I started noticing that she was developing, guess what? She reminded me exactly like my wife. I used to say this is actually a mini version of you. When my wife complains about certain things, I'll just be looking at her, be like, but this is you now. This is you. You say, can you imagine she's saying, I said, but this is you. Do you understand? This is a mini version of you.
Be careful what you want, you're going to say next, because you want to go home tonight.
You get me? So you're right. When you observe these things, we've been there, we've done that. We all have the experience from our parents and ourselves as well. So I wonder how they say we all become our parents eventually.
That thing is too scary.
It's too scary.
Know, right?
So sometimes you see it happening and you really can't control it. But you're like, so me, I'm with Femi, where you do your best, you take it to a certain point, and you leave the rest for God.
All of what you were saying just reminded me of something. On, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I went to walk with my son. And he doesn't really talk much. Read book, play video game. He plays. And when we're driving, we're chatting, we're chit-chatting. And at some point, I said, Daddy, can I ask you something? I'm like, what? He said, did anybody ever abuse you? I'm like, what do you mean by abuse? Or like somebody saying something about you. I'm like, yeah, it's normal now. We're like, how is that normal? And I'm like, it's normal. I was like, so what did you do? I'm like, I abused them back. And then he looked at me he kept quiet for a minute. And it was that moment that I realized that me and this boy, we play, we do all of that, but they never opened up to me like this before. So I was like, did anybody abuse you? He said, no. I'm like, I know somebody abused you, but it's okay to tell me. Like, no, nobody abused me. We drove maybe like another 5 minutes. I was like, yeah. One day when I got to class, somebody said my shoe's ugly. Do you think my shoe's ugly? And I was like, how many shoes do you have? Like, do you like the shoe? He said, yes. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. And then he said, yeah, but why would you say my shoe's ugly? I'm like, people can say whatever they want. The same way I can say whatever I want to you. The same way you can say whatever you want to me. But it was until you just said it now that I realized that the normal conversations, the normal things we do, that's not normal. So it probably never felt like, okay, me and my dad can have this
conversation.
Yeah, it's 7. I know that it's still very young, but the best you can do, just do the best you can do and just answer up, leave the rest for God. Because you will see 2 children, and I've seen that too many times, raised in the same home, the same environment, and they turn out
different.
Different, exactly.
This thing Femi said, right, just hit a nail on my head, because a few weeks ago, now it's funny, like in my home, we only have 1 car. So I'm usually driving. If I'm in the car, I'm driving. If my wife is driving, she's the only one in the car. So my wife came to get me at the office. And usually when my wife comes to get me with the kids, once she gets to me where I am, she leaves the driver's seat and goes. You understand? So then at some point in time, I needed to fix my car door. So my wife came driving. So I went into the passenger side and I told her, would you come this way? Let me go. Then my daughter, the youngest one, just said, no, mommy, can't you drive? She said, of course she can. She now asked a question. She now said, or is it a thing? And I said, what thing? Is it that women cannot drive when men are there?
Oh my.
So for me, it was a teaching moment. Yeah. And I was like, no.
Where did that come from, though?
Because she now noticed that you never drive if daddy's in the car.
And they're watching.
So she now felt as if, is it a thing that a woman cannot drive a man type of situation? So my wife and I had to tell her that, no, anybody can drive. Daddy just wants to drive because you're tired or something of that nature, but never feel as if, she just felt as if, is it a thing? Is that what it is? I had to let her know, no, babe, the cars that you're going to own and drive.
No, but the fact that she can say that shows that you're doing the right thing. Because ideally, when we were growing up, you wouldn't say that.
Yes,
you wouldn't say that.
Yes, and on that note, I'm going to take some of the social media comments we have here. I'm going to be starting with Atasan. And Atasan says, Olamide, remember that dreaded prayer. May you not meet the love of your life after you get married and have children. God, I beg you. Okay.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean?
I don't know. And then there's Amina says, Olamide, is gang rethinking being faithful? Question mark. Has he met someone else? Gang,
not in Lagos.
You're going to tell us not in Lagos, right? And then
never.
Atulaimon says,
Boo, you know I got you for life.
What is rich uncle saying now? Is 400K too much, Ni? How much the senators they collect? You say the kind of cars they drive.
How many senators get?
It's unrealistic, but we need to clear the cobwebs in our faces. Make all the people for ours they collect minimum wage first.
But if you say it's unrealistic, you've defeated the argument.
There's still more from Atulaimon, and it goes like so: because they are smaller than the workforce, they should keep collecting such huge salaries. This country to get wala beg. David says, Deck spitting bars tonight. Thank you. Our government cannot bring order to the assembly. We cannot move from there, and this is sad. The navigator, that was for you. The navigator. Sorry, the comforter. Or the diplomat. Okay, Aminat says, Olamide, all married men can never be faithful. Ooh.
Lagos go crash.
Now she's talking to all of us because we're all married.
Wow. Lagos go crash.
All of you in the studio get girlfriends. Wow.
That is not true.
At Aminat. And then finally ends with,
that is
all
not
us
true.
now no go make heaven. And me.
Wow.
That is not true.
I don't know what you're talking about, Amina, but this guy is here.
The Lagos finest.
We don't do such.
Lagos finest.
I don't know about, yeah, we're clean. And finally, we have at Sarah, and she says, I found out months after that you put a camera in our 16-year-old daughter's room. You are mad. All the love will be thrown out the window, and everybody Madasi Oroi. I don't know. Madasi. Yeah, that's Yoruba for everyone's going to get involved in the conversation. So, yeah, we put it out there. Of course, we have something we do every Friday night. It's called Just a Tip. Just a Tip. And tonight, I'm going to do something different. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, Rich Uncle, you're giving us just a tip for tonight.
Just a tip. Seek knowledge. In everything that you do, seek knowledge. Because
AKA have sense.
Yeah, because I've realized that a lot of the problems we have in Nigeria today is due to illiteracy. Most people don't even understand what they talk about, what they yap about. When you go through social media, you're like, come on now.
Information,
like seek knowledge.
Yeah.
And you don't need to know everything, but just know a little bit of. If you have a conversation with someone, or you are in a place where people are discussing stuff and you know nothing about what they're saying, go on, put it on YouTube, put it on Google, learn something. So that when next you come, you say, go fit contribute. Because the truth of the matter is that a lot of times, there are people in this country today, and I'm not joking, that believe that, but Nigeria get money now, why can't they just share 1 million for everybody?
Yeah.
And money doesn't work that way.
Some university graduate had told me that before, and I looked at them like, so I thought it was playing. I was like, that's not. I'm like, but I don't understand. We have billions. And I'm like, bro, you believe this thing where you did? You did.
Bro, so I wanted to add something to what you said, all right, about the fact that, people need to seek knowledge.
Seek knowledge.
It is important.
Very.
Because Nigerians are one of the most intelligent people in the world, all right? However, we have a lot of educated illiterates in Nigeria.
All right, on that note,
So that's it.
I'm just going to say a big thank you to everyone on this table tonight.
You're welcome. Stay
And
faithful.
The man at the bar, thank you very much. That was more than just a tip. That was a DP.
What was the DP?
Think about it. All right.
That was.
What does DP mean?
I'll tell you after the show.
Or DT. Or DT.
I'll tell you right after the show.
That's
Anyways,
premium.
do have a beautiful weekend.
You don't do.
Good night.
Good morning.
What's DP?
Bless.
What does DP?
What?
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Entertainment to me is a way of life, is a way of escaping, is a way of connecting with people. It's a way of sharing stories and experiencing the very best of the human nature.
Baby, I'm ready to go. Baby, I'm leaving. I'm ready to go. Baby? Hey, darling. Oh, come on. Don't be like this now.
how do you want me to be? You keep leaving me here all the time.
Oh, sweetie. You know that I won't be doing this forever. In a few years' time, I would have saved up enough money to start my own dream business. The job is all that we have.
It's okay. I am so sorry.
So why are you sorry now?
You work so hard for us, and all I do is to complain like a silly child.
No, you're not a silly child. You're my baby. You know what? I'll just spend a few weeks on this my business trip, and before you know it, I'll be back.
Baby, you don't understand. I am going to miss you so much.
Oh, come on, baby. I'm gonna miss you too, okay? Come. You know what?
What?
When I get back, we'll go on a weekend getaway. Maybe a boat cruise. Oh, come on. At least give me a smile. That's my girl. Come here.
I miss you, baby. I miss you, baby.
You know what?
What?
Before you know what's happening, I will be back. All right, let's go. I'm already late.
I miss you, baby.
I miss you too.
Make sure you come back quick.
All right, let's go.
hon.
Hey, don't tell me you're not coming out from the shower.
No.
Look at your face. You're lying. Babes, what are you doing there?
What?
You go in there for hours and I don't know what you're doing there.
Do you know I take my bathing seriously?
Oh, yes, you do. Well, this is what you're wearing today. Well ironed.
Now, aren't you the best husband in the whole wide world?
And aren't you the best wife in the whole world?
Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
Now let me go and slay in my neatly ironed clothes by the hobby.
You better do. Are you going to get ready in there or here?
My cousin, leave me alone. Boy, bye.
Really?
Oh my God.
I love you.
I love you too.
Let me make your breakfast, yeah?
Okay. Baby! Baby, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm here. Here you go.
Oh, you made me breakfast?
Of course. I don't want my baby to be hungry at work.
You spoil me too much.
Baby, that's what I signed up for. You have a good one at work, yeah?
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. Oh, and hey, babe, don't forget to keep looking out for job vacancies.
You know I will not. I'll keep looking, baby.
Thank you. By the way, you look smashing, baby. Baby, can you not go to work? Can you just stay? Because this is too nice, you know?
Hello? Yes, it is me. Gregory, right? We met at the club last night. Okay, sure. I'll meet you soon. All right. Take care. Nice time out there.
Same here. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Sit up.
Thank you. So, when are you going back?
I should be going back by the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell me, what would you like to drink?
Nothing. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, at least for now.
Okay, if you say so.
So, how long have you been married?
For 5 years now.
Wow, 5 years.
Yes.
How is it going?
Well, I don't have an answer to that question because marriage is not an easy journey at all.
You can say that again.
Well, I guess yours is a bit tough.
Why did you say that?
Because the way you were dancing in that club the other day, it tells it all.
Well, I got married because I wanted to get rid of loneliness, but I feel lonelier now.
I know the feeling.
You do?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We are married.
I won't tell if you don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Ow. Like that. That was awesome. You.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
How? What?
Ready for another.
What? No way.
Come here.
Leave me alone. Where do you
What?
get your energy from?
Don't tell me you're already tired.
I'm exhausted.
Really?
Yes, I am. But it was good anyway.
Same here. I've not felt like this for a long time now. Meaning, you're the best.
You're welcome. No, don't. My phone.
What's that?
No, let me check. Okay. Shh, my husband. Hello, baby. I am good. How are you doing? I missed you too, honey. Okay, so when are you coming back? Really? That's great. Okay, I will be expecting you. All right, darling. I love you too, honey. Oh.
So, what's the good news?
It's coming sooner than expected.
That's great, right?
I think I want another.